different. And I love it, man, because it got me thinking. It got me thinking like I was back at school again. I don't even know where you come up with these questions. I want to know how you do these. You're so innovative. I'm like, look. I mean, your mind is, like you say, you're a history teacher, and your mind is going all over the place.
And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other today.
Yeah, I've done everything. I've done, in the 80s, I did Johnny Carson. I did Merv Griffin. I did it all. You're sheer 9 or 10. You're probably 9.5.
Oh.
10 is, no one's perfect.
You have something amazing going with the show, and you're educating us.
I mean, I've never told anybody in public about that experience with my dad. And on your platform, I don't know why I did that, because it's so comfortable and we're talking about things that matter.
I love the little anecdote of comedy with your would you pay for it? Would you not? I love that. I love how you added that in.
We want to know each other. We want to know people's stories. That's what TKN does.
First name Michaela, last name Skinner. Welcome, my friend, to round 2 of the tournament.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Pleasure's mine. Pleasure's mine. Absolutely.
Yeah, this was seriously such a blast. I was so excited to come on here, and yeah, it's been incredible.
Last name Ferrigno, first name Lou. Lou, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. That's the best introduction I've ever heard in my life. You know something? You need to quit the show and be my moderator.
So put your hand together for a majestic, out of this world, one-of-a-kind human being. First name Vivica, last name Fox. Welcome, my friend.
Whoa, that was an awesome introduction. Let me tell you that. I don't think I've ever had anyone read my resume with such flow.
Avi is a poet, but he doesn't know it, but his feet show it. You're unbelievable.
Last name Wilkins, first name Lenny. Lenny, welcome, my friend. Celebrity tournament.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to this. It should be fun.
Damn. You said it just like I wrote it.
You gave me good eargasm tonight, man. I love your voice. I love the things that you talk about.
Well, you're the best I've seen. You're the Michael Jordan or LeBron James, whoever you want to make the GOAT.
This is why your audiences love you. This is why you continue to great guests, and great guests beget great guests.
One of my friends was share about the Tip O'Neill, the Speaker of the House, and what a smooth voice he had. Your voice and the way you project everything and share with your heart and soul. You got an incredible gift.
I just want to do this again and again. I feel like I've made friends. And again, I've taken the competition part of it out because I've just enjoyed talking to you guys tonight.
Oh man, most definitely. This is, I think my top. I think because when you do the intro you gave me, I gotta give it to you. I like.
You deserve it.
It really, truly, kind of blows my mind every time when we can get this many people together, thinking, mind melding, positive, not having to agree all the time with everything. But not getting ugly about it, and not, it's just I feel like it's a microcosm of what it could be.
Did you have a nice time tonight in the green room?
I had a great time. I can't tell you how refreshing it is that somebody knows what they're doing.
You're a very interesting person. I mean, you with all this rhyming stuff, you must really put a lot of effort into this, and I would love to read or see something that you've written.
Thank you.
Because I'm sure it's really interesting.
Or not podcast. I guess it's like we're just a show now. You're a show. You're a full-blown show.
I can count my friends on one hand. Well, wait, on one finger. You.
Oh man, thank you so much, my friend. You are awesome. Don't even hang your hats on the past, because if you don't heal from what hurts you, you'll bleed on people that never even cut you to begin with. It had nothing to do with your pain.
Okay.
So
Tell him, Avi. Tell him.
You guys are bringing the best out of me. That is the truth. Guys, Chris, did you have a good time? You've done a lot of interviews. Is this kind of up there for you?
Yeah. I had a great time today, Avi. I mean, because you are engaged in what is a conversation and not a performance.
Stars remind us of where we've been. They need not dictate where we're going. And I think in a way that kind of addresses this question. So So in other words, I think it is almost inevitable. There's going to be pain, there's going to be scarring, there's going to be all kinds of this that's going to happen over the course of a life.
Sit at the kitchen table looking out the window for quite a period of time while the food was getting prepared, and I wish I took that time to sit down with her and ask her questions about her being a child.
This thing has drawn me out of myself and thereby drawn me into myself. But I learned a lot, and from you, Avi, I always learn something from you.
Work as hard as you can, because by working, Avi, you will keep yourself busy and get used to the grief.
Another trio of questions, now more underrated. We have Billy D. Williams, Italian men named Skippy, or unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian men named Skippy. Put me away, Avi.
Archie Bunker, the mountain climber. Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor, or Don Corleone, the computer repair person?
It's clearly an issue with the hard drive.
Oh, I like that.
I'm going to go Don Corleone.
I'm going for Christmas. Is it because it does create those amazing memories that I've and Sarge, I know you've been there too, because I've seen you at so many different great events for Muscular Dystrophy Association.
There is nothing that was on TV tonight that even remotely rivals what we did on this broadcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Barry, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and one of the NBA's top 50 players. And I'm really excited to tell you about my new relationship in the broadcasting world with the new network.
It's TKN, and a young man named Avi Klein has poured his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this new network and assembling an amazing group of individuals.
Legends from every walk of life who are just bringing their knowledge and their experience and their wisdom, and this is amazing. I feel like this is a cosmic convergence of what is most important to him, and he's such a stand-up guy.
Avi, congratulations. I don't know anybody that can talk as much as you. Seriously, I thought I could talk. You are unreal. But you do it with class, understanding, professionalism. You're simply amazing. I told you that when I first met you. And you ran off my autobiography. It basically was a book. It was simply fantastic. And to think that you do that every show.
Very respectful. And he really connects with the artists and his audiences. And I felt like this guy's on to something, and I'm proud to be a part of this with him.
And I really thank your support. I lost my father, and you were the first person to support me in all that, and I thank you so much for that. It meant a lot to me.
The greatest wealth is when you can share it with someone. You can share your victories, you can share your failure, you can express your deepest feelings, but the greatest wealth is to be able to say that I have a friend, and I feel an unbelievable level of wealth, and a lot of that is because I have somebody like you.
You here to win the whole darn tournament?
I don't play, I just win.
Robert, would you like to win this entire tournament?
You know, all those luminaries and athletes and strongmen notwithstanding, the most dangerous place on this show is between me and that prize. That's all I'm going to say.
You're chomping at the bit to get in this thing.
Oh yeah, man, I've been telling you, brother. You brought up some names to me, and I was like, I can't wait. I hope they don't see me, because it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones, baby, and I'm not playing.
Are you here to win the entire thing, my friend?
I'll just say this, Avi. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
But are you here to win the entire celebrity tournament when it's all said and done?
I saw a very familiar face in Mike Rotundo, better known as IRS, and he said that he was here for the winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I want to take away that chicken dinner, so yes, I want to win this whole shebang.
Tonight,
Avi Klein launches the TKN network. It's been over 2.5 years in the making. And tonight, with mystery guests and the big debate, it's going to be, well, let's just say hotter than hell. So don't miss it.
And talent, last name Smith, first name Joe. Joe Smith, welcome, my friend.
Oh my God, Avi. Where did you get all of that from? Oh my God.
And gals and pals, it's TKN Saturday Night. This is not a TKN Celebrity Tournament night. This is a special edition of TKN Saturday because we're going to be talking all things MADtv. I cannot wait to do that with these amazing gentlemen and lady as well who are here backstage. Guys, I'm going to bring them in one at a time, but I just want to remind you guys and gals and pals once again, we thank you from the heart because this is a living room style of conversation, of course, not a podcast. I call it a free preview because there's a little bit of pomp and circumstance, but a lot of substance as well. And thanks to all of you, after starting out with a donut 20 months ago, we're at 5.1 million strong, and of course, 6-figure views per episode. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you to Amazon Prime for believing in us and picking us up, and thank you, of course, to that big studio in the sky filled with suits and ties that didn't believe in this concept, but now all of a sudden they want to be my best friend. What does that say about the suits and ties? Anyway, guys and gals and pals, enough out of me. I'll zip the old lip. Right now, let's bring in every single individual backstage. These are comedic legends, but there's so much more. They create laughter. And I know how that sounds. It sounds sappy, but I'd rather be sappy than cynical. They create so much wonder, and they give so much thought in terms of what they write down when they put thoughts onto a piece of paper. Think about how they're thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about words, letters, syllables. They do so much. And then they present it in such a package that's polished. I'm floored by what they do, guys and gals and pals who are watching. So let's bring them in one at a time right now to talk some good old-fashioned MADtv. My first guest was born and raised as both Quaker and Cherokee in the #1 flyover state of Kansas. This was years before she wrote characters that were proficient in the art of barb, quip, or even a diss. As a child growing up in the Midwest, her favorite superhero was Aquaman, next to Wonder Woman, of course. Her first job as an intern in LA was as a production assistant in which people provide zero remorse. She's an incredible writer, creator, performer, improviser, stand-up comedian, and storyteller. So for those that don't know her glow or her flow, you are the one I pity. Heck, she created Sasquatch Detective for DC Comics, which was born on the stage of Second City. She produced and hosted the quarterly live storytelling show Precious Story Moments at the Lyric Theater in Silver Lake. It is a true, hilarious storytelling show, and here's my take. As she leaves the audiences laughing, but happy, the stories they just heard didn't happen to them, nor they were revealed on some show like Ricky Lake. She studied at Comedy Sports, the Groundlings, and UCB, as well as Olympic West and Second Hitty Hollywood RIP. Her poetry, in the form of the written word, is extraordinary, as she filled many a blank canvas for many a luminary. She has written for Family Guy, American Dad, DC Comics, and MADtv. She's also freelance written for the Walt Disney Company on projects including Star Wars Adventure Series and My Disney Story. She's also the voice of Squeaky LaRue for Super Noodle, as her versatility is part of the glory. So put your hands together for a smart, beautiful, positive, creative human being. Last name Stillwell. First name Brandee. Welcome, my friend. Oh, really? Gosh, and guys, you know what? You will one day. I was shooting for something because you've got the resume, you've got the chops. There's no doubt about that. Brandee, how are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. I'm going to bring in our next two guests, and our audience has no idea who they are. We've kind of let them know that, given them some clues throughout the week to see if they can find out and predict who the guests are. Of course, you're one of them. I got to bring this question up real quick. MADtv. We're talking about long running, right? Like that video intro, that was long running. MADtv, the second longest run, 14 seasons, am I right? That is absolutely breathtaking when you think about it. Do you feel as if a lot of the MADtv alum are kind of like fraternity members? You call them up, you guys have been through the trenches together. Is there that camaraderie, Brandy?
Absolutely. And, randomly, in the last couple of days, in the last week, I was at a storytelling show that Blaine Capatch, one of the original writers, was at.
Oh, wow.
Sunday, I was leaving a tavern in Toluca Lake, ran into Nicole Sullivan. And then Monday night, the very next day, I was at a short film festival in Glendale supporting a friend of mine, and Andrew Bowen was there, who was on
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice to run into everyone, and, you know, every now and then again in the grocery store, and good people.
Sometimes it's that silent nod, you know, like, hey, you know what? We were there together. We paid our dues together. Yeah. You're great at what you do. You're such a talented writer. Had such a joy speaking with you in the green room. Brandy, I'll put you backstage and bring in our other two legendary comics, and we'll all be here together in a minute.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Brandee Stilwell, we'll be seeing her momentarily. I want to bring our second guest right now of three, guys and gals and pals. My next guest was born on a mild Wednesday in April of 1968. He overcame so very much and never gave in to the somber and the bitterness or mankind's cruel hate. A child of the South, he saw a lot, especially since his father climbed the ranks as a basketball coach. His son, our guest, encountered so many people in his life. Thus, I honor his life and authentic approach. Guys and gals from Columbus, Georgia, Furman University. Things were getting down to the nitty-gritty, as it was then off to Tallahassee from Florida State University. Our guest would attend high school in Orangeburg, as his father taught him that life wasn't about finding a job. You had to find your passion, whether it was coaching players, guys and gals and pals, that knew how to catch the lob or make strangers laugh. Even those that Harvard, some of us might even call them a snob. Perhaps his gift was passed down by his great-grandfather, who never met a stranger. This was during a time where ignorant pale folk led with bigotry, thus placing minorities in danger. At age 11, our guest's mom took him to see Star Wars, much to his chagrin. But it was definitely a win, not an experience you'd place in a trash bin, because a plethora, a bevy, a smorgasbord of kids would rant and rave about the Wars of Stars, and if they weren't allowed to see it, they'd pull a little Richie and shout, or they might have even pulled a Grinch and led with a pout. My guest started thinking about the Force, guys and gals and pals, and this idea that we're all connected. Well, there is no doubt. That's a pretty big concept for an 11-year-old to think about. This guest was and is an intellectual sponge. Comic books, parents, comedy albums. When it came to input, he definitely took the plunge. Mauled in high school basketball, the speech and debate team, and one of those teachers that make us all think, blush, and grin. My guest liked being challenged, and he was, by his sixth period teacher. I'm speaking of Gladys Robertson. He was an athlete and a scholar. That is something I'm proud to holler. Colleges take notice, guys and gals, as they did, even almighty Yale, who rejected many during that time, like a Dan named Quayle, who years later would run for office, but to no avail. Sorry, Dan, but those skits on late 80s SNL would never fail. Back to our guest, who met admissions counselor Otto German, who told him about the college, guys and gals and pals, of Charleston in South Carolina. In many respects, on the outside, it might have felt like being an outsider who hailed from China. But my guest stayed true to himself, which is a lesson that one can't preach or teach enough. But don't overextend yourself too much, nor should you reach, because your identity is something that doesn't require a Band-Aid or some bleach. Yours truly can relate growing up in Queens, New York, befriending those who are the same, as their color doesn't change the game. His work on stage, film, and television enthralled us all from country to country and state to state. The Chicago 8 was great, as it took us back to 1968. How about Evolution? Say It Ain't So, and Bedazzled, which was boatloads of fun. His character on The Replacements was based on someone he knew. As his legend grew and grew, it wasn't hard to see that he was rocking the industry like a chili pepper named Flea, as his fans would wave like an elated banshee. My guest would captivate everyone with his comedy and honesty as a founding member of MADtv. Next time my guest appears right here, I'll delve deeper into the shows and whys, guys and gals, when it comes to his debut, including On a Different World, which was a spin-off The Cosby Show. But in the meantime, let's put a cap on this flow and shine a light on his entrance, as he will always bestow his creative glow. In a moment, you'll salute this man like we saluted G.I. Joe. He's given back so many, guys and gals, which makes him a hero. The late James Earl Jones, my late friend, once told me when I started working for the mighty Universal Studio that this man's presence was as strong as his when he portrayed Othello. So let's give a warm welcome to a kind, humble, intelligent, sincere human being while recording his entrance on your phones. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Orlando Jones. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, ORLANDO. Sometimes I rock fast, sometimes I rock slow. Nice to meet you, my man. Lovely to
Nice to meet you, man. Absolutely, man. You have, including yours truly, you've created so many damn smiles. Is that even more rewarding than any personal accolade or award, to see someone come up to you, man? You know what? I had a rough in high school and college. You made me laugh. You made me smile. Is that probably one of the biggest compliments you can receive?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you can't have a bad day when fans see you and walk up to you and they're like, "Oh my God!" Yeah, I mean, it's impossible, right? The energy, the love. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a blessing that I think comes with this job. That if you have it, it's a pretty incredible.
Yeah, you definitely have it, my friend. And then again, to think about how someone starts off as a sitcom writer and then all of a sudden goes to an audition where there's over 200 people and one person's going to get that spot. it ended up being you. I know you're bashful and you're humble, but you were one person who went to this cattle call. I'm talking about MADtv specifically, and you're auditioning for one role out of 200 people in this cattle call. You get it, and of course Quincy Jones is right there to tell you got it.
Yeah, no, it was a crazy moment. It was a crazy moment when I was in it, and when I think back, it's still crazy.
No, you deserve every bit of it, man. And I'll tell you this, Orlando, I'm going to bring in our final guest, and then we'll all be here as a panel discussing MADtv and what you guys are doing with this amazing reunion. I cannot wait to delve deep into this, my friend.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Mr. Orlando Jones, I'll put you backstage momentarily and bring you right back in a moment as I bring in our final guest, guys and gals and pals right now, who's with us in the back. My final guest, guys and gals and pals, for the evening moved to New Jersey in 1986 at the height of the stand-up comedy revolution. Air Jordan and hair bands like Bon Jovi, Poison, and Winger. His mother was quite the artist and inspirational force as she was an accomplished jazz singer. As a teenager, she immersed herself in the music of jazz, blues, and R&B. By the time she was 17, she was already singing professionally. Gradually, word of her amazing voice spread from Chicago to New York and even St. Louis. Then after meeting Lionel Hampton and Bryant Park, the rest, as they say, is history. All of this to say that the talented drive and determination definitely runs in my guest family. This luminary grew up watching comedy, boxing, and rap, and after aspiring to succeed in the former, he soon thereafter attempted the latter. Guys and gals and pals, TV helped raise him as he observed the legends such as Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and Mantan Moreland. Soon his audiences would be clamoring for more and more and give him a mighty hand. At age 14, he put his name in a hat, quite literally in the hopes of going on stage. And not to sound smug, but pull at our comedic heartstrings, or perhaps just a tug. His name wasn't selected, so at the behest of someone, he was advised to go to the Uptown Comedy Cafe in Harlem, where he did 2 minutes of impressions, and right there he got the bug. His first big break was Def Comedy Jam when he was 16, but he didn't get on that first year. Bob Sumner out of East Orange, New Jersey, was the brainchild behind Def Comedy Jam, you hear? And he was the one that got it all in gear. Bill Bellamy, Hamburger Jones, Derek Fox, and my guest were the big names in town. The first thing my guest did on stage was 2 minutes of impersonations in which there wasn't a singular frown, as his bit was a Pepsi commercial in which he impersonated Jack Nicholson and James Brown. After being the youngest comedian ever on the Def Comedy Jam show, it was something to be seen, guys and gals. It was nerve-wracking. It could kill one's self-esteem in seconds, even when you're rocking your flow. I'm talking about the one and only Showtime at the Apollo. He did great, guys and gals. Seeing this star shine on stages made people laugh so hysterically that some even hurled. Next stop for this tour de force was a co-starring role at NBC's A Different World, but it wasn't just comedy that gave this performer endless elation and harmony. He had amazing performances on Crosstown Traffic, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. His resume was sprinting like a runner with honey in his undies, being chased by many a bee. You want some proof? Next up was a recurring role on CSI Miami, and then the big one, 8 years on the iconic and innovative MADtv, the big screen, stand-up comedy, sketch comedy. He's done it all in a big way, and I gotta say that he always shoots straight from the hip like a Morgan named Piers. Soon we'll greet him like Norm, who had quite the entrance on Cheers. You've all been chanting his name time and time again for many years. He made us laugh so hard we were in tears, like the I Love You guy, man, and those Budweiser commercials that were selling beers. So put your hands together for a kind, talented, hilarious, intelligent human being. First name Aries, last name Spears. Welcome, Aries, to the show.
Yo, what's up, brother? Let me find out you the white Muhammad Ali.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Man, I appreciate what you've given. I told Orlando and Brandy this as well. The greatest gift in the world is to give someone a laugh that you don't have or a smile you don't have so they can have it. You've given us so many smiles, Aries, from the heart.
Listen, man, it's been my pleasure, man. You know, it's always great when you do what you love and what you're passionate about. So, you know, I'm not working a regular 9 to 5. This has been my bread and butter since I was 14. Haven't looked back. Haven't ever punched the clock since 14.
That's amazing.
Don't have a boss.
It's incredible. I mean, that's incredible. That's literally a dream, like to do what you love and then have it do so much for you as well. Aries, I'm going to bring in Brandy. I'm going to bring in Orlando. We'll get off to the races here. MADtv it is, guys. Welcome to all three of us, all four of us here now on screen together. I cannot wait to sink my teeth into MADtv. There's a video that I want to play real quick for Orlando, Brandy, and Aries. It's 30 seconds. This is an awesome video that I think really starts to tell the story of where we are in 2025.
Out in San Diego Comic-Con 2025 for the MADtv podcast and live tour. You should have been there, baby. Bang, Phil Lamar, Deborah Wilson, David Herman, Blaine Capatch, Brandee Stilwell. Don't miss our next MADtv Rewind.
It's back. Yes, you guys are back. Question to anyone specifically, it could be Orlando, Aries, or Brandy. How does it feel to be working with some of your contemporaries, reminding this younger generation about who MADtv is, what MADtv is, and where perhaps it might still be going, guys?
Orlando might be able to speak to that better than I can. I wish I was at that Comic-Con. I didn't even know about it, but I'm
San Diego. Yeah,
I think I might have. I'm working on the road every week, so
sure.
That's what
even
you
if
were.
I had known about it, it would have been a conflict for me.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando was there first, so he probably can speak to that better than I can.
Absolutely.
I would say it feels good. I mean, look, MADtv was a crazy time in 1995, a long time ago. But, you make friends and relationships along the way with some people that you don't even get a chance to work with on the show, like Aries, right? I never got.
Right. Don't forget hear you, Orlando. There we go. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. I said Brandy's really the person that pulled me in because I think her love for MADtv and her time in working on it and of comedy was something that I just think is infectious. And she was doing the podcast already. And she called me up and she was already working with my boy Phil Lamar. And she was like, hey, we're going to do a reunion at Comic-Con. Can you come down? And then Phil called me. He was like, we should talk to Brandy. And I talked to Brandy, and her energy about it and her love for it drew me in. And then I called Aries. And next thing you know, we were all basically talking about what we might be able to do together because I'm such a fan of both of them, right? So for me, it's like, as an original cast member, it's a lot of fun, to catch up with Deborah and Nicole and David Herman, and Artie Lang calls me probably every other day and we catch up and laugh. So, great times, great memories, and exciting to turn it on to a new generation. But I got to give the hat tip really to Brandy because I think it's really her passion and her foresight that got us here.
I feel like already before we started recording, I made a fast friend with Brandy and a fellow writer. Gosh almighty, I know what that's like. But Brandy, you recounted that story so well when it seemed like all the pieces were in place, all the stars were aligned. Does it seem as if right now, Brandy, that the momentum you guys have right now, is that something that even impresses you? Did you even know the impact you guys had?
Here's the thing, like when you and I were talking in the green room earlier, I was explaining how the whole thing kind of came about. And it was a year ago. Phil Lamar, who is one of my oldest, dearest friends, and that I had met from working on MADtv a lifetime ago, he had asked me if I could help him at a video game con. And I was like, sure, of course, I'll sit at the table with you. And for every group of 10 people that came forward for an autograph, every 7 or 8 of them started out with MADtv. I used to get grounded because of MADtv. I would quote MADtv. So you looked like me when nobody else on television looked like me. And I was just like listening to these people talk to Phil Lamar. And I was just like, how are these kids? How do they even know what MADtv is? The following week, I was at San Diego Comic-Con in 2024. And again, the exact same thing happened. Everyone kept talking to Phil, fanboying, but they would start with MADtv before they would go on to his career.
Sure.
And then I used to work at DC Comics. DC Comics owns Mad Magazine. And I had ran into a couple of people like Andy Pease and Jay Kogan, who are heads of DC Comics.
Yeah.
And we were just like, hey, let's grab coffee next week. But I still didn't have the idea. And then it wasn't until Phil asked me to kind of go over some podcast form. He's like, hey, can you just help me out? I get all these requests. And when I was listening to some of them, because there's some bad podcasts out there, I was like, wait a minute, why we could do this? And I just happened to have a coffee date set up with Andy Pease of DC Comics.
Sure.
And I just fit to her, and she was like, do it, run with it.
Wow.
Yes, reach out to the attorney. Jay Kogan, I reached out to him. He gave me guardrails. He said, go for it.
Nice.
And it has just been kind of crazy. It was a little train that could, And nobody, it was still like Mad TV, because even back in the day, Aries and Orlando, you know, we never got advertising. Fox didn't own us. They didn't give a shit. Nobody promoted Mad TV. And so the podcast was kind of like that. And I texted you, Orlando, yesterday morning, randomly. The other night, I went and I turned on my TV in my bedroom, and I have like a Roku TV, and there's Mad TV. And I'm like, wait, what? And then different links to where, like, even on Amazon, where you can buy episodes to watch now. And I was just like, finally, because I've been shouting from the rooftops to like nothing, just shouting in the wind. For somebody to listen to me, that Mad TV matters, that people still talk about it. It's still relevant. And so many things that we got away with, and things that, you know, even like Darlene McBride, Nicole Sullivan, that character like resonates today so much.
Great point about getting away with things. And I was going to ask Aries this question. Aries, do you feel like it's more liberating for the comic to not have the suits and ties sitting on top of you the way they might do at SNL? Does it give you more freedom? And do you find that to be something that, now, of course, there's pros and cons, right? It shows up in the paycheck, of course. There's a discrepancy. But do you find it liberating as well to say, hey, you know what? If the suits and ties don't believe in us, maybe we can push the envelope a little further.
I often, in regards to myself, when people ask me about, because of the political times we live in and how sensitivity is such a big thing now, if I ever alter my comedy, and I always say this answer, which I think is, also can be applied to Mad TV. My comedy cocaine is uncut. I serve it in the purest, rawest form. And I think that was very similar to what we were able to do on Mad TV. Right. It was the 90s. You could get away with more. But I feel like, today's climate is a disservice to what could be comedy fans. Because if you were able to take in what we gave you, what was better than that? So I almost feel sorry for people who are coming up now trying to embrace comedy, because it just doesn't have the same potency that it had back then. And if I could jump ahead a little bit, people ask me even today, have you guys ever thought about bringing Mad TV back? They tried, but it was so in and out that no one even remembers it. Right. Because listen, I felt bad for the group of people that were involved in that, because they didn't have a fighting chance. I mean, we came on at 11 o'clock, whereas, the CW put it on at Wednesday at 9, and again, most importantly, the climate changed. So they didn't have the same time slot. They didn't have the same creative freedom. So you just knew that they didn't have a chance. So when people ask that question, again, I always go, well, they tried, but it was so in and out that no one even remembers.
I'm not even saying the red tape was invisible, but gosh, I know the red tape didn't get in the way at the time. I mean, so Mad TV is the second longest running sketch show in network TV history. 14 seasons. Orlando, you were there from the jump. I mean, from the beginning.
And the crazy part of it is, I think people forget that Mad Magazine was all about no sacred cows.
Right.
Mad Magazine was all about going there. That's what Mad Magazine was about, both artistically and creatively. So, look, as an original writer and cast member on the show, in fact, at the time, I was the only writer who was a cast member on the show for the first 2 years. That was a huge part of what we were going for.
Sure.
And Aries is right. Look, I don't give offense. That's not how it works. You take offense. You don't include me in the decision-making process. I throw jackass in the air. You claim it as your own. I wasn't talking to you, jackass. I was just talking to you. I don't understand. What the fuck? But I feel like we are not in an environment where people have a thick skin. We're in an environment where there's a lot of fragility and a lot of thin skins. So, everybody gets a trophy,
That's
even the losers. So, if everything is upside down, I think it requires comedians to shine that light, and musicians and artists to shine that mirror and hold it up to you. And some people don't like it, but I think that's the difference between artists and puppets, right? The difference between wallpaper and art, right? Wallpaper might look pretty, but it ain't got no meaning. Art
That's right.
is about communication. It's got
You can't
meaning.
create unless you try to innovate, you know. And
Hey, that's the whole game. And that's
the name
what,
of the game.
if you were on MADtv, that's what you were trying to do.
Yes, sir. And, you know, you're talking about longevity as well. You know, again, being there from the jump in Aries, of course, you jumped in later. Brandy, you were pulling strings behind the scenes. You three I want to talk about this specifically. You guys rocked San Diego Comic-Con. Aries, of course, you mentioned that as well earlier about, you know, wishing you could have been there. But now you're talking Mad Rewind podcast and the live show in New York. My first question officially, I guess, is what's a live Mad Rewind show look like when the circus leaves the tent?
Oh, that's easy. So Brian Callen's got a crazy idea.
Right.
That we would do a show called Acting Off, which is like an improv show. And he started doing the show in Texas. And then he told me about it. And then I told Aries and Brandy and everybody about it. And we were like, great. So that's one show. We're definitely doing that show because it's almost like Whose Line Is It Anyway? But it's done by the MADtv cast. We use a giant screen. It's hilarious. A lot of interactive audience stuff. Very innovative. Second show is a comedy show. Out of all the people who are on MADtv, only about 4 of us are stand-up comedians. Aries, Brian Callen, brother Bobby Lee, and myself, right? And Artie Lang, of course. And none of the others of us are stand-up comedians, but they are improv performers. Brandy's an improv performer. Mo Collins, you know what I mean? Michael McDonald. So one show is really leaning towards the improv, that's Acting Off, and all the improv performers. And one show is really leaning towards the stand-up performers, so you really get to showcase both styles of talent that you saw on MADtv. But on MADtv, we just did those monologues, you know, racism versus spam or whatever, you know what I mean? We didn't really get a chance to do stand-up. But in our live show, you get 2 shows and the podcast happening with the full cast.
I really want to say this because for my audience that knows me, and guys and gals and pals in the comment section, thank you for joining us again on a Saturday night here. I have to bring them up because they asked me to, especially on this gathering we're having right now. Progresso Soup, guys, is our sponsor, our corporate sponsor. Chicken noodle soup. It's a 4-pack, which means Aries, myself, Orlando, and Brandy can dive into this once we go off camera. But they're an amazing sponsor because they believe in what you just brought up. One of the reps he doesn't mind me bringing his name up. One of the reps, Alan, brought up how he enjoys the fact that comedy today, with so much red tape involved, with so many no's, with so many don'ts instead of do's, to know that you guys have gathered together, found a format and also a platform to be able to diversify and give people a comedic buffet, if you will. Stand-up comedy, sketch, conversational, and it's so engaging. I think that's what makes this thing so unique to me. So when I think of MADtv right now, even as a form of a podcast, I'm really excited to know where you can go. In this platform, I always tell people that it's a very cold and distant platform because it's a laptop, it's a microphone, it's a camera. But if you're very good at connecting with people, you might feel like you're in the room with them. Aries, as someone who's had some incredible impersonations, I mean, spot on. Has there ever been a moment where you bust out an impression mid-podcast just to mess with the audience? Sometimes not even relevant to the conversation, just responding in character of someone you're impersonating. I got to know.
You know, for me, everything is calculated and drawn out. I mean, yes, part of being a comic is being spontaneous, but there is a certain amount of planning that goes into it. And it's like, you know, I'll admit when I can't necessarily do a good impression of somebody, but I think that because I admit it and then do it, some people find some humility in that, and they end up going, nah, that's pretty good. But the people that I know I can do and score with, it's always intentional. Because if I know I got MJ on the bench, why wouldn't I put him in the game?
Right. That's a good
give me this quick 45. So,
you're not talking about the 2003 MJ who was a 6th man for the Wizards. Not that MJ.
That MJ wasn't bad either.
He wasn't bad.
You know the comparison I always make, and this might be going a little off track, but when people talk about the legendary, iconic Eddie Murphy, I go, you know, Eddie in the 80s and the 90s, he was Michael Jordan in the Chicago Bulls. Eddie today is Wizards Jordan. You know, he's still an icon.
Right.
You know, he still can
put the numbers up.
He's not as explosive, but he still give you 20.
Yeah.
So
and I like that because, you know, just to further extend that, I feel like Eddie in the early 80s, late 70s was Jordan in North Carolina. Because SNL, if you remember, they put the reins on him that first season. We barely saw him. He was a featured player. until, of course, he wasn't. And then Joe Piscopo and him essentially took over that show in front of the camera and gave us some magic. So that's some.
But
that's
also, Eddie was on that show for only 3 years.
That's it.
So you know,
That's it.
you can only hold the good stuff back for so long.
That's a good
before
point.
It explodes.
That's a good point. That's a great point. Brandy, now I got to ask you this information here because as a New Yorker, I got to tell you this. You know, sometimes, you know, little bribes can kind of go a long way. That's a Queens thing. It might be a life thing. But I'm going to ask you about bribes because who's the hardest Mad alum to drag onto the show and what bribe worked?
You know, so far, I haven't had to bribe anyone. I went to them, and I'm like, you know, in the beginning, it was rough because, you know, I went to Dick Plasucci, who was executive producer for nine seasons.
Yeah.
And he was hesitant because he doesn't like to be the center of attention. And I was like, do you want to co-host? And he thought about it for 12 days because I don't know what I didn't know what I was doing. I just believed in this so much.
Right.
And he sat on it for 12 days and then was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'll just come on as a guest. And then I kind of did the same thing to Mo Collins. And Mo Collins, I'll just come on as a guest. But then at the end of every podcast, everyone spills tea like crazy, even, you know, after, you know, the microphone has
Sure.
shut off. And but then every single person was like, that was so much fun. If you ever want me to come back on, I'm totally here.
Right.
So I've never had to bend anyone's arm or anything. It was just me simply reaching out to them. And, you know, and then I even had, you know, not before San Diego Comic-Con, not knowing what the future of MADtv was.
Sure.
I had Jen Aspinall lined up, who was hair and makeup. I had our composer lined up. I had post-production lined up. I'm still friends with all of these people. And they were, you know, I'll do it.
I mean, you had the foresight to know this thing has legs. Obviously, it has legs.
Yes.
And then to be able to check off boxes one at a time. The hard thing is to not have expectations because if you're invested in this, you're hoping that the other talent that could bring this to fruition could be as invested sometimes. And that's not something you can really predict. But I do have to ask this question as well. I think it's important for our fans, speaking of MADtv, the fans who remember the old days, this isn't a question specifically geared towards Orlando or Aries or Brandy. Any one of you could jump in this. But what's the one sketch for MADtv that fans scream at you the most? Is there one that sticks out? They scream at you the most. Hey, yeah, that one.
I get the UBS guy a lot, but the best part is I'm not the UBS guy. Phil is.
Orlando, do you roll with it, though? Do you kind of go with it?
Oh, yeah. But please, listen, I've been Barack Obama, Tyler James Williams, Most Def. I've been, you know, just pick a black dude. I'm there for you.
No, well, I'll tell you what. But right when this segment is done, I'm going to ask Aries and Orlando and Brandy to kind of just hang out because I put together a tribute video for them. MADtv tribute video as well with some great clips and some great moments as well that our fans can revisit. It was a pleasure doing that in post-production. Aries, is there anything that people usually point out? One over the other, perhaps? I don't know.
I noticed might sound somewhat braggadocious, but I think to our credit as an ensemble, just like Brandy said, we were never given the respect that I felt we deserved, especially in terms of promotion.
Right.
So again, I don't mean to sound braggadocious, but there's a plethora of sketches that we did as an ensemble where
absolutely
I don't think you could even name one because there's just so many. But one of the ones that off the top of my dome that I had the most fun doing was the Wizard of Lost sketch, where Dorothy ran into the runaway slave played by me.
I remember that sketch.
And my request was for freedom, which of course I couldn't get granted.
Yes.
So just again, from the makeup, Jen Aspinall, everybody looking like the actual characters from the Wizard of Oz.
There was so much commitment there. Yeah.
To the performances,
to
the fact that you would do a joke that had edge on top of everything else. Great writing, great makeup, great costumes, great performance. But then you had that edge, which was the ending, which was, of course, now I got to ask because I don't want to mess up. Can you curse on here?
Yes, sir.
Cut to the slave fucking Dorothy in the bushes.
Right.
So I mean, something is classic and it's beloved.
The writing, the performances, and as you said, even the production, everything about it. Brandy?
Can I do my impression of Aries?
Please.
Because as he and Dorothy are watching.
As Aries or as a character?
No, as the
Okay.
character, because the lion and the
Yeah.
Tin Man are all trying to come up, and Aries is like, "Go on, get from here, get from here."
But then you got to do. And I remember I was a one-legged slave. So
Wow.
Dorothy's
Wow.
ruby red sandals in the air with my one leg in the middle, going, "Who's the wizard, baby? Who's the wizard, baby?"
Which was the one?
You are.
Which was the one where the standards and practices, the suits and ties almost got in the way? Is there something that barely made it on air?
There is no way you could do that sketch today.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
Right.
So the one I got in trouble for a couple of them, but the one that really got killed was Schindler's Lost, the story of a man with a sense of justice but no sense of direction. So it was really my parents in a car, because my dad, he don't matter what you say, he's not stopping for directions. It's not happening. Him and my mom gonna have to figure it out in that car.
Coach. He's a coach. Yeah.
Hey, so basically, Nicole plays Oscar Schindler's wife. Brian plays Oscar Schindler.
Sure.
And he won't stop for direction, so he doesn't make it to Auschwitz, and he doesn't save any of the Jews. And I think he asked a couple of German guards which way to go, and they tell him the wrong direction. They laugh at it. So we shot the sketch.
Yeah.
And this story is crazy. So Steven Spielberg's in a helicopter with Quincy Jones, and they're flying from New York to the Hamptons.
Okay.
And Spielberg answers the phone in his helicopter and says, yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, no, go ahead, kill it. Yeah, kill it. And he hangs up the phone. And when they land the helicopter, Quincy Jones says, "What were you talking about on the phone? What was that? Kill it, kill it." He goes, "It's some show called MADtv. Did a parody of my movie Schindler's List. And the Anti-Defamation League and the JDL want to kill it because the script supervisor was offended and she sent the pages over." And he goes, I just said kill it. And Quincy's like, "What do you mean? That's my show. That's my show.
Yeah.
MADtv, you kill it." And he goes, "Oh, what is it?" He goes, "It's a sketch comedy show based on Mad Magazine." He's call him back. He says, I can't call him back. I said, kill it. And so the sketch died and it never aired.
Man,
and we shot it. So that the suits shot it. And then Quincy called me up to tell me to quit messing around, because it was the second time I'd gotten in trouble. And he was like, "Can you write something, nephew, that I don't have to call you about? Can you find a way to write something funny so that Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby and other people ain't calling me up about you?"
And this was fairly early on, Orlando? Fairly early on?
Season 1 and season 2. Yeah, I was gone by the end of season 2. So I got in trouble 3 times. They were ready for me to leave.
You brought up Quincy. I got to say this to you as well. I got to ask you this, I should say. We're in the same circles. I heard this story. I can't recall from who. But at one point when you were auditioning, he was kind of like, "Give me an East Coast rapper. Or give me a West Coast rapper." He was just kind of throwing stuff on the wall, right, when you were auditioning?
Yeah, that was the way the audition worked was, especially for MADtv, you had this material to do.
Right.
And, I just, instead of reading with the casting director, which is usually not fun, I just did all the characters.
Gotcha.
So he was like, "Okay, cool. What else can you do?" And I was like, I don't know. Why don't you just throw out a character? So he was like, East Coast rapper, West Coast rapper, grandmama. He just started throwing out characters. So I would switch to whatever character he threw out. And that's how I got the job.
I feel like I want to ask Aries this question. I feel like based on what Orlando is describing, it seems like a sport. There's a lot of, I can make connections to sport and comedy. Can you as well, Aries?
Oh, I always use sports analogies to what we do, because so many things are the same.
Yeah, there's no doubt about this. I was telling Brandy a story, Orlando and Aries. I didn't really get into all of it, but my first writing assignment, is for Carl Reiner. This is over 2.5 decades ago. Not of course, people think of Rob, but Carl. And that great team of he and Mel Brooks years ago. So I'm sitting there going, number one, why am I there in a room with him? Number one, why am I here? And number two, what do they want from me? What can I write for Carl Reiner that he hasn't seen or that could be beneficial to him? So a bunch of young writers are pitching. They're pitching monologues. And under my breath, being a greenhorn that I was, I said, That's more soliloquy than a monologue. To one of the young writers. And he looks at me and goes, what'd you say? I'm like, oh, all kinds of nervous. I'm like stuttering and mumbling and fumbling and bumbling all over the place, right? So I don't know what to say. And I go, it sounded more like a monologue because it was directed towards an individual. It wasn't a soliloquy. He would have been alone, in a room alone somewhere in his underwear. I don't know. But it didn't sound like a soliloquy to me. And he sits there and he's doing one of these. He goes, all right, you can stay. You can stay. It's something out of a movie. 2 days later, a comedian who ends up being, I guess, making the final cut of this writer's room is also a stand-up comic. And he's looking at Carl for some sage advice. And he asks him, look, I haven't done a set like this before in my life. I forgot where he was performing. But he goes, do you have any advice for me? And Carl's there, and he's eating his walnuts like this. 5, 8, 12, 23 walnuts, 30, might have been 70. Finally, it seemed like 10 minutes. And with his fingers, he gestures the young comic over to him, and he says, I have it. I have something for you, and this will be some sage advice that you can carry with you for the rest of your stand-up career. The guy leans in, he goes, Carl looks at him, and he says, whatever you do tonight, you ready? He goes, yeah. Don't suck. Don't suck. What's his sage advice? And by that, there was a story behind this. He goes, you're overthinking. You're overthinking. Don't prep the day of. Prep the day before. Prep the week before. Prep the month before. That moment, that day where you're about to go on stage, kind of like when you're doing theater, you got to put it all away if you can. I got to ask Aries and Brandy in Orlando this. Are you able to put it all away as well that day where you're performing? Or is it still here somewhere?
I just put on my earbuds and listen to anything from Michael Bublé to Public Enemy to Miles Davis, and just zone out and just focus on the task at hand. You know, I'm not traditional in the sense that most comics, especially those that have some TV credits or some visual notoriety, they like to hide out in the green room until their name is called. Not me. I like to taste the joint like I'm about to rob the bank. I want to know who's sitting in the third row, who's got on the funny hat, who could potentially be a problem because of alcohol. So I like to size up the crowd before I go on, so that when it's time for me to attack, I know who to attack.
That makes perfect sense. Reading the room. Orlando, your thoughts on this? Do you put away the prep the day of, or do you still work things through?
Prep. I mean, prep. I mean, look, I don't think that funny is something that can be taught in school.
No.
I feel like you either are or you aren't. So
But there is a foundation though, right, Orlando?
I mean, I think there is, but I think that's a writer foundation at the end of the day.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, do you as the writer, do you put that stuff away the day you're performing, or do you
No.
Okay.
I'm always writing. Aries is always writing. Aries is writing on stage. We're writing in the moment. First of all, I never stop writing. That never stops. It's just that you gotta. I agree with Aries. You gotta have a sniff of the room. I've gone into rooms cold before, but it's more fun when you get a sniff of the room, particularly when you're doing live and in clubs because there's alcohol involved, right?
Right.
So it's a different game, and you're gonna and different people receive their comedy differently, different crowds. Look, black people talk back to a movie screen. If you think they ain't finna talk back to you high as hell. Okay, and Latinos
having
talk.
thick skin is a prerequisite for a stand-up.
Yeah, and listen, and you get a couple of bowls and take no shit. White ladies from the Midwest of Texas, they gonna say what they want to say too. So there's just different personalities that are gonna behave different ways, and if you ain't ready for that, you're gonna have a problem. You need to be able to write on the spot. Yes, of course, you might see something or something happens, and that changes how you decided you might have normally started your set. But I don't even go by the same set every show. I don't know what I'm gonna say when I get on stage. I gotta get on stage, and then I say whatever I'm gonna say.
I really do.
But I don't prep that way.
I love asking, and I'll ask Brandy the same question. And the reason I brought it up is because when I did amateur stuff, Comedy Cellar, I know that there was such a great scene back in the Comedy Cellar in New York.
Yeah,
I used to love that. Yeah. Godfrey used to headline Comedy Cellar all the time, and I would sit there just watching him. He and Dave Attell. He and Dave Attell were always
I know Attell more than I know Godfrey.
Yeah.
Because we used to do it. Me and Artie used to go through there like 95, 96, because he was on the stand-up tour, and we were always at the Cellar with Attell. In fact, Artie does a dead-on Attell. Godfrey came in and later, but you're right, they were both fixtures over there.
They were total. And when I did my set, my third time, I swear I was so nervous, but I said, how can I let that bleed into the performance in a positive way? And I went up there on stage and I looked at the audience and I went, this isn't going to work. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. And I left the stage. And of course, there's no reaction. There's no applause. There's no people being awestruck. But then I came back like 5 seconds later. So it wasn't like leaving the stage entirely. And if you know the setup, it's kind of like it had Cafe Wah right next to it. Anyway, so I'm coming back up there and I go, on second thought, I'm not going to let you guys rob me of my performance. You know, I thought that you'd be dejected knowing that I'm walking out of here right now. Okay, I don't have my prep. Okay, I thought I was ready. I'm a nervous wreck, but you could at least give me some empathy. I just walked out of stage. I'm probably not going to get paid tonight as a result. Where's the empathy? And that just started turning into some little bit that wasn't planned. So I kind of let my nervous energy do the talking. I know that's not exactly common, but at the end of the day, there are no rules. Aries brought this up as well. There shouldn't be rules. You're either funny or you're not funny. If something works, maybe tweak it, maybe try it again. Brandy, doing improv, was that nerve-wracking when you first started doing that? Of course, with your experience as a writer, what got you to actually feel as if this is now your next test as a comic, as a writer?
It was awful starting because I was a writer. And as a writer, every day that you write, you get better and you get better and you can do rewrites. Improv, you got one shot. If you say the wrong thing, if you don't pronounce, it gets held against you. And trust me, no one wants to live in this space. My mind is a terrible place to be. And it's gotten better. I've gotten so much better over the years. But it's because of practice. And the more you get up on stage, the more storytelling you do, the better you get. And like what we were talking about, like backstage was like, was self-taught. It was, no one taught me to take the microphone off, move the stand, bring the stand back, fist bump. I would get off the stage and realize I didn't fist bump the host and it would eat me alive. And that shit doesn't bother me anymore. I got it.
Oh, that's great.
But again, it's practice. And I would rehearse driving to wherever. Like nobody could call me. You couldn't talk to me. You can't have a ride.
Right.
But now it's like, fuck it, let's go. And it's better now than it's ever been before. Who needs a ride? And, I even like a month ago, I just went to support a friend in Long Beach and they were like, hey, so-and-so's sick. And I'm like, they're like, can you run up on stage? I'm like, I got you. What's the theme? Spin a wheel. Do you want whatever you got? I have for you. And
wow,
the more you do it, the better you get, and it becomes effortless.
You're so brave.
I got to go back to something that Orlando said earlier.
Yeah.
I got to go back to something he said.
Please.
When he goes, you can't teach this. So that's why it's a little funny to me when I see people that try to teach stand-up comedy classes, because it's some of the biggest horse shit in the business. It's like when somebody's going to tell you, hey, you got to take the mic out and move it to a certain direction. Maybe you got to dress a certain way. There's one rule in this game. Be funny. So you mean to tell me that if I take the mic out the right way, put the mic stand in the right direction, and I got on the right clothes, but I suck comedically?
But that could be a skit. What you just said could be a skit.
That helps you in
the whole
no
BS
way,
comedy
shape,
class
or
could be a
form.
skit. That could be funny, where there's like
None of that
teacher,
shit matters.
like a Shakespearean guy who's trying to teach stand. That could be a skit too. I
But
mean,
it
no, but you're right.
mattered to me,
Funny.
Aries. It mattered to me.
But you got Aries. You got to admit this though. How many times?
I'm fucking dying.
Wouldn't you agree though, Aries? This is a question for Aries because of a very confident stand-up performer you are. Wouldn't you agree that the audience is as interested in knowing that you're confident when you step on stage as you are funny? They need that. They need to know you're ready. They need to know this guy's ready. He's here to make us laugh. And they
You
can pick
could
up
be
on
the
that
most
confidence.
confident guy in the world. The cocaine is the product, not the package it's delivered in. So at the end of the day, it don't matter how confident you are. If your funny ain't there, it don't matter. That confidence shit is bogus.
But can it work without confidence, though? Can it work without confidence?
I mean, you need a certain amount of confidence.
Right,
Absolutely. But don't get it twisted. At the end of the day, what you're selling is funny, not confidence.
Right.
That's right.
Confidence comes with success.
But there's something to be said about feeling confident about the fact that you know you're going to be funny.
Listen, I see many a celebrity go on stage because they were a movie star.
Yeah.
And they get about 5 minutes of celebrity love, okay?
And then it wears off.
And then at 6 minutes, trust and believe, if you ain't got no jokes and you start floundering, you got a problem.
Yeah,
Seinfeld said
wears
that.
off. The novelty wears off. Yeah.
Dude, it's fast. Sometimes you don't get 5 minutes.
Right.
Sometimes they like, hey, okay, now make us. Okay. So, you know, everybody's got their different thing to it. But by and large, and there's a physiological thing. It's a mob. It's not one person, okay?
Yes.
So no, if you ain't got control of the mob, you got a problem. That part
That is true.
But
and you know what?
That's so true.
While Orlando made a point earlier about, you could get some drunk white woman in the Midwest who can be a problem, but black people are the ultimate test. Because if you're gonna make me stop eating my chicken wing to look up at you, and you don't got that funny, you might get this motherfucker thrown at you.
That's a fact.
Right. I hear that.
That's a fact.
Can I
Brandy?
do white woman interjection?
You're right. You don't have to ask that.
How dare you ask? On behalf of white supremacists everywhere, what the fuck was that?
Do you mind if I ask the KKK contingent of our audience? They don't exist. I'm kidding. Go ahead, Brandy. They're not here.
To like what Aries and Orlando was saying.
Sure.
It's a terrible rom-com. It's terrible. And I don't even think I know the name of it. It's Cameron Diaz, Julia Roberts.
Doesn't sound funny. Yeah.
Dylan McDermott.
Right.
And there's a scene where Cameron Diaz starts singing.
Okay.
And she's terrible. She's terrible and she's doubting herself.
Right.
And no one's on board. No one's on board because she's not confident. But she sucks. But then as she continues, she gains confidence. She still sucks, but she owns it. And if you can own it and be terrible, but as long as you're confident,
right,
you can sell that shit. And it will work. It will work every single time, because if you don't believe in as an audience member, if you don't believe in yourself on stage, I want you fucking dead. I want you gone.
That's what I was going with regarding confidence. I mean, Carson did it so well when he messed up in his monologue, he'd poke fun of himself, that self-deprecating humor. Right. And the audience was in on it. They knew he messed up. He knew that they knew that he messed up. So instead of just pretending like it didn't happen, he would actually work that into his bit, which I thought that was just so genius when he did that. Guys, I want to ask another question. You're back to MADtv. I got to ask this question. Between the podcast, the stand-up, the live chaos, of course, does anything ever get you in trouble with your family? Do you ever still have family members? Maybe not so much today, but in the past. That they ever pulled you aside and go, what the hell are you doing?
No, because all of my family leans on me, so they don't want nothing to stop the money.
Okay, gotcha. Had to ask that Orlando Brandy. I'm not sure if that's happened with you guys, but a family member ever went, hey, man, what's going on here, man? Did you have to go there? Did you have to go here? I don't know. I'm always curious about those kinds of things.
Listen, Aries said it best. You can say whatever you want, but, you know, the problem is you need 5-10 grand. That's the problem. And the need of that money far outweighs what I may or may not have said about you on stage. So.
Right, yeah, you know, if you're going to pay me more money to be a background on Mr. Belvedere, it's a different story. Hey, I got to make my money. Nothing against Mr. Belvedere. So this is a question I like asking. It's hypothetical. I like myself a good drink every now and again. I have to unwind. I do a lot of these. If Mad Rewind was a drink, what would it be? Would it be a straight shot, a fancy cocktail, or jungle juice in a bucket?
Ooh, I don't know. Brandy, what do you think?
I'm not a big drinker.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Jungle juice in a bucket.
Okay. Gotcha. Or all the above. I should have clarified as well. It could be all the above.
If MADtv during the height of its potency was a drink, it would be Hennessy warmed up in an oven.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Why the oven? A slow burn? Are we talking about a slow burn over here?
It burns at room temperature, but now cook it at a couple hundred degrees.
That makes sense.
Listen. I went him. It's got to be that, a moonshine, Everclear.
Okay, a moonshine.
Everclear. Listen, we were wild back in the day.
Okay.
All right? We were wild. We were not a tame group of individuals.
Okay.
We shut down the bar for sure. We shut down the party for sure. Listen, we shut down the park, and I'm pretty sure me and Artie Lang pissed on the heads of Mount Rushmore. I'm pretty sure that happened. I mean,
Right.
It may not have happened, but I'm pretty sure it did, because Artie was like, Orlando, what are we doing? They're closing the park? I got to go to the bathroom here. What are we doing? I'm doing it here. I'm a guy from Jersey. What? So, you know what I mean? So, and then he was pissing, and then I could not piss. I can't let him, upstage me with his manhood pissing on the president. So we had to do what we had to do. But yeah, I think probably Everclear with some weed and a couple of Adderalls and maybe some straight cocaine, because as Aries said, that's how he had to serve his comedy, straight cocaine.
So what you're saying, Orlando, is it's not a short list.
It's not a short list. Okay. We are a drug cocktail. We are a list of amphetamines.
Right.
Okay.
We would have made Bill Cosby proud.
Proud. Bill Cosby, Robert Williams, everybody. Listen.
You would have made
Robert Downey Jr. would have been at the 30th yard line. On to the
40th. And Avi, I gotta tell you, man.
Yes, sir.
One of my biggest, and it's not a regret because it's of anything that I was, a part of. It's just timing. But when you look at the comedic juggernauts in terms of who brought the thunder, and my fantasy, my if I had to do like a fantasy league, I wish I could have been there when Orlando was there. Because imagine Orlando, Artie, me, Will Sasso. That's a stacked man.
Wow. It's a dream team. Yeah.
Woo.
That's a lineup. That's a lineup.
Aries, that dream team is coming true because we're going on tour.
That's what's amazing about this.
Real talk.
I want to talk about this for a second, about the tour itself. Destinations, what you're looking forward to the most. I know that's sort of like a vague question, but what if you had a wish list of expectations when it's all said and done regarding this tour, what would it be?
My wish list is that the W hotels and the Marriotts allow us to go to all of the cons, as cons go around the country every year.
Sure.
For us to be able to take our Mad Rewind podcast and live tour and go to 8-9 cons a year.
That's
At
amazing.
least 5 or 6 would be awesome. We're going to hit Chicago. We're going to hit Seattle. We're going to, we're just going to go and hit cons and bring our show there and do our podcast. And, hopefully sponsors like Campbell's will get behind it and enjoy the, shenanigans of what we're doing. But I just feel like right now, the world is such a crazy place and so wildly divisive.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about the idea of actually getting a chance to perform with Brandy, with Aries, with Will. I never got a chance to do that, right? So the idea that I'm going to get to perform with them in a sketch,
it's a dream,
live capacity, and then with Aries in a stand-up, like for me,
wow,
I can't wait. And just the podcast of it all, the camaraderie of it all, because, Aries and I have gotten a chance to hang out not a lot. And the last time we hung out, he was like, I got this movie, you got to direct it. I read it and I was like, yeah, you're right. This feels like us. This feels like me. You got to star in it. Let's put our group together. But we haven't spent a week hanging out, but in less than 2 days of time together, we were able to identify, push us. So I know creatively there's a lot of synergy there, and that's exciting. That for me, and getting the chance to do that on tour and hanging out with him, the more we hang out, I feel like the more stuff we're going to crank out.
And that could feed into the work as well. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And with such funny people and with us not having a chance, like Aries and Brandy have said, for us to get together, like even Brandy's hilarious as a writer. To me, it's all the different perspectives of how people make you laugh is what makes comedy great. It's not just my perspective. It's Brandy's, it's Aries, it's Bobby Lee's, it's Will's. It's because all of us come from such a different place. Deborah Wilson has a wild perspective. Right. And that's what was great about Mad. I think that's what's great about our podcast. Our podcast, and what's going to be great about our live show.
I worked with Bill Paxton on the road before Bill Paxton passed away, and he knew Red Fox really well. Yeah, he knew Red, and he said, Red told him something that he passed on to me. He said, comedy's like a big old bowl of jambalaya, he told Bill Paxton. He goes, you put everything in this thing, you put all the ingredients, and if it tastes just right, you can't pick one ingredient that made it work. You
That's
can't
right.
pick one. And that came from Red Fox. I was like, wow, that's some sage advice there. Guys, we're going to bust out of here in about a couple of minutes, just a couple of minutes. But I do want to do this, a couple of quick rapid fire questions. And I do want to play a very, very brief video of those who are part of this network. I air this every Saturday, who've passed on, who are no longer here, as we honor their memory. Some of the great luminaries that have been a part of this amazing show as well. And after that, guys, about 2 minutes Spitfire round, and we are out of here. Thank you again to all of those that are up there in a better place. Trio of options for Gallagher, more underrated than why? Sauerkraut, Henry Kissinger's deep soothing voice, or dogs wearing sweaters?
I like dogs wearing sweaters.
Do you have fun?
Yeah, I haven't done an interview in 20 years.
Great Gallagher. Mr. Sizemore, first name Tom. How are you, my friend? I could turn the volume lower if you'd like next time. If you'd like me to do that, Tom, I could do that.
Wow, that was something else. I don't know what I can do now.
Oh, please.
That was terrific, man.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And you know what? As charming as a guy that you are, man, and as honest as a guy as you are, and as down-to-earth as a guy as you are, you played a character that isn't so down-to-earth named Scrooge in college. You played Scrooge. And of course, I feel like a thespian should rely on their instinct. Do you feel like you rely on your instinct a lot as a storyteller as well?
I mean, playing Scrooge at that young an age was, when I think about it now, I only way I could have done it is I was relying on my instincts. You know, I could have done it any other way. Okay.
More underrated than why? Unicycles, Italian men named Skippy, or sophisticated dinosaurs?
What? More sophisticated dinosaurs?
Yeah,
I want to say the sentence. Italian men named Skippy. I just want to say.
Yes. Yeah. Italian men named Skippy.
I just want to say the sentence. Italian men named Skippy.
Yeah, something you'll never hear. Yeah. Did you have fun? Did you have a nice time?
I had a great time. It was ball.
Yeah, man.
I want to do it again. This is great.
I just think it's going to be, a lot of fun for people. I don't think people like this on the air. I don't think really. No, there isn't. I just think it's going to be I'm very interested in how people respond to it. Because I know it's going to be interesting and see if people tune in and stay tuned in, and I really hope they do. And I'm all yours, bro. Let's go out and make this work. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.
I teach a workshop, and one of my students finally said about my class about iambic pentameter. He finally said, I got it. And he was excited. And it was both his elation and those 3 words that make it worthwhile, right?
Amen. You got it. But I think I've got to have equally passionate people involved in the production of it. That passion will override any reservations anybody has as to the show's potential for entertainment or education.
Did you feel as if transitioning to the stage and performing live theater was a natural fit for you?
Yes, I did. I always felt very comfortable on stage, more so on stage than I did in film or television. So I'm looking forward to you, Avi, giving me your thoughts and your input, because as I told you, that piece that you sent me is, I love good writing, and I think
Thank
that's
you,
been
sir.
the secret of my career. And this is a beautiful piece of writing, as I said. I'm referring to the piece that you wrote me. You're onto something because you're a writer. You're a creative force, and I want to hook up.
Thank you so much for those kind words, guys. Thank you for being you, my friend. I appreciate you and respect you wholeheartedly.
And that goes double for me to you, Avi.
There's Pop. I wish I got my Pop's looks. Pop's in heaven watching us now. He's having a good laugh. Pop was a big guy, about 6'7", but quiet. Wasn't a mean guy. And Pop kept telling me that, Avi, the 89-90 version of SNL was not the best cast, damn it. It was the 75 team. He kept telling me it was the John Belushi, it was the Chevy Chase, it was that cast. Hey, I want to ask you guys a quick question before we get out of here. Rapid fire stuff. Really quickly, if there was a family member of yours or a friend of yours that never really got a chance to see you excel and progress and succeed, that you wish you could have a conversation with right now in life, who would it be?
My grandma.
Your grandma, okay.
Mildred.
Yeah. My grandmother, for sure.
Grandmother?
Viola Ransford.
Sure.
You know, I wasn't really super tight with my family.
Sure.
I have a couple friends that I consider family, but to answer your question, you know, my mother was my Joe Jackson without the abuse. So she's always been the biggest cheerleader in my corner.
Sure.
She's still alive. I'm lucky. My father, he kind of was skeptical in the beginning until he saw it coming together, but he saw it come together. So I don't really have a solid answer for that.
Okay. No, that's and one of these days when you guys get back here, maybe I'll invite you to the celebrity tournament. That's a separate show. I'll tell you about that. It's a lot of fun. Celebrity tournament. I call it a sport of the mind. It's really positive. It's we have philosophical fun. I would like to ask one day Orlando about his great grandfather who had the nickname Mayor. One day, I can't wait to ask you about him because he was so well liked and he had such a personality. He never met a stranger his entire life.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Bud Cowan never met a stranger. What wonderful human.
I love that. Guys, I want to ask you some Spitfire questions over here. These are all wacky, of course. They're hypothetical. I'll ask Orlando Jones this question first, but it's the same for Brandy and for Aries, and then we'll get out of here. If you had a chance to pay for the following, to see the following, which one would it be and why? Starting with Orlando. Rocky Balboa as a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld as a correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host?
Ooh, Seinfeld, the corrections officer. Yeah, because I think there's a certain amount of amusement to watching a dude get gang raped while he tries to tell conversational humor. I mean,
foreshadowing or prediction.
You know, I just don't see that conversational humor playing out like he thinks.
No, and he probably would think he's funny when he's not. Like, why do they call these bars? There's no rhymes or.
Listen, I can tell him this. He can say whatever he wants, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a boyfriend.
Let me just real quick. I never knew until we were on my podcast.
Okay.
And my podcast partner brought it up. Did you know that Seinfeld's name is Jerome?
Jerome Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Queens, New York.
It's Jerry Jerome Seinfeld.
That is the blackest name I have.
So I said his next special should be called A Nigga Named Jerome.
A Nigga Named Jerome. 100%. He got the Jufro too, for sure. He just put his foot in that. Go Seinfeld. Go, brother Seinfeld.
We're already this is a writer's room. It's become a writer's room already.
Because white woman, I cannot I can't comment.
You're right. You can't even laugh at this. You got it.
Brandy, you are white. You can do whatever you want.
Again, Brandy, you got to take your power. On behalf of white supremacists is everywhere. This is not how you're supposed to behave.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this real quickly. How about this? When I taught history, my assistant principal, this is why I stopped teaching history. She walked into the classroom. I had a do now about Frederick Douglass. She walks in and she says to me, Avi, you misspelled Douglas's last name. It has 2 S's. I went, that's how it was spelled. Frederick Douglass had 2 S's. That's when I realized that the people who are supposed to educate know nothing. And by the way, I brought in Diane Nash, who's still alive. She's a freedom writer, one of the original freedom writers. I brought her in. I introduced her. She's a friend of mine. And she's late 80s, early 90s. And my assistant principal looked at her and did one of these. Head nods. I said, you know what? That's the most disrespectful shit that I've ever seen in my life. That's a freedom writer. And you're doing this to her? I was done at that point. I mean, I left. I'm going to ask Aries the same question, just a couple of these, and we're out of here. Well, who would you rather pay for to see and why of the following? Rocky Balboa as a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld as a correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host?
I think Rocky is a neurosurgeon.
Okay, I could see that.
And listen, educate me real quick.
Okay.
What exactly does a neurosurgeon do?
He cuts brains open.
All right, I want to use a scalpel to cut open the vein. You know? Hey, yo, Mick, I need some anesthesia. Yeah, that would be
this
golden.
The one time,
that writes itself.
This is the one time where he wouldn't need to have Mick cut him, right? He's cutting someone
exactly.
else. There you go. I see what you're saying.
For real.
I like
but
that.
Mick would be his guy that hands him the equipment. Got it open, Rock.
But Aries, isn't that the one time we don't want Mick in the room? Isn't that the one time we want Mick to get annoy Rock? He's got to concentrate, right? He doesn't need direction.
You
from
might
Mick
be right.
So I'm just saying, Brandy, Rocky Balboa is a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld's a correctional officer, Rambo the talk show host?
I'm going to go again with Aries, Rambo the neurosurgeon, and I want the scalpels inside the boxing gloves.
That's great. This is amazing.
Brain soup.
You guys are crushing this. I got a couple more. We got this. We're back to Orlando. Orlando, which would you pay for the following to see and why if you could? Just one. Hannibal Lecter is a regular cast member of 90210. Big Bird the Bounty Hunter or Conan the Librarian?
Oh, Big Bird the Bounty Hunter. Because watching that bird shoot a shotgun is something I need to see him do with no fan.
And you got to admit, Orlando, he did run the streets of Sesame.
Oh, 100% with his invisible friend Snuffleupagus. I know all about that game.
Aries, do you concur, my friend? Aries, guys, a little technical issues. Brandy, Hannibal Lecter is a cast member of 90210. Big Bird the Bounty Hunter or Conan the Librarian?
Hannibal Lecter as a cast member of 90210 because Donna Martin graduates.
Yes, yes. Hey, what are we having for dinner? We're having you for dinner. I like that. Aries, would you concur? Again, we have Hannibal Lecter as a regular cast member of 90210. We have Big Bird the Bounty Hunter or Conan the Librarian?
I'm going to go with Conan the Librarian.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, just having Arnold Schwarzenegger tell you to be quiet in the library is golden.
You have to comply. I would agree. You'd have to comply. And two more, and we are out of here. Another option here for Orlando Jones and, of course, Brandy and Aries as well. Orlando, if you had to pay for the following, which would you pay for to see and why? Darth Vader as a wedding planner, Godzilla the massage therapist, or Freddy Krueger the personal trainer?
Darth Vader as a wedding planner.
Okay.
Because I had never seen a wedding planner with that level of asthma. You know what I mean?
I never thought of that.
You know what I mean? Like a wedding planner with asthma. That might be interesting. Bridezilla losing her mind. What is happening in my... Hold on.
He either has asthma or he's super stressed at the job. It's one of those two.
Something's going on, but that breathing, that's James Gandolfini level of breathing. Tell him, Aries.
Yes.
You know how to fuck a wedding planner. You got to know the details.
I have to say this to Aries because I hope I get to say this again next time, but if I don't, that James Gandolfini is so freaking spot on that when I played it for other suits and ties and in meetings and writers' rooms, I wouldn't let them see the screen, and they're like, "Oh, we love James Gandolfini. He was so great. Is that a Sopranos thing?" I'm like, "That's Aries Spears."
Yeah, then they find out that the guy's doing is a fucking baboon, and they go crazy.
It's amazing. It's actually the most spot-on thing I've heard, man. Aries, which would you pay for to see and why? The following: Darth Vader, the wedding planner, Godzilla, the massage therapist, or Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer?
Listen, Freddy Krueger was always my guy growing up as a kid in the 80s.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go with Freddy.
The personal trainer. No wrist curls though from Freddie, right? No wrist curls. You can't have any wrist curls.
Yeah, it'll motivate you to get it right. Because if you don't,
that's true.
You know what's coming.
That's true. Brandee Stilwell, we have again Freddy Krueger, the personal trainer, Godzilla massage therapist, or Darth Vader, the wedding planner.
Godzilla, the massage therapist, because I got some itches sometimes that I just can't get on my own.
That's true. He'll get everything, all the kinks.
He'll get it all.
He'll kill you, but he'll get all the kinks.
Exactly.
Squash you. This is our final one, and then we are out of here. Of the following, which would you pay for to see and why? Beetlejuice, the runway model, a cast of Goodfellas as studio audience members on Jerry Springer, or Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th as an ice skater?
Cast of Goodfellas on Jerry Springer, no doubt. No doubt about the death in that room.
Do we all concur on that? Is that kind of unanimous, I guess?
Yeah, I agree.
Right,
for the same reason, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Brandy.
come on.
I don't know. I kind of like the Jason Voorhees ice skater.
Ice skater,
that's
yeah.
way to slash someone's throat.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
He needs to change a little bit too.
The woolly kneecap action, you just take it out with the blade.
Well, he's got the hockey mask, so
that's true. And this, guys and gals and pals, again, I want to bring this up about MADtv Rewind. 14 seasons, 51 cast members, 50 writers and crew. By the time you're watching this, you're going to see some amazing displays here of what's going on in terms of Mad Rewind. Each week, there's going to be a rotating trio of MADtv alumni as they sit down and watch an episode of MADtv with a celebrity that hosted that particular episode, which is amazing. This is so innovative. Season 2 of the Mad Rewind podcast kicks off with a viewing of the pilot episode of MADtv with 6 of the original 8 cast members on board for all of the fun. More information will be splattered across my socials and on this show, so you guys can get in on the fun. Orlando's bringing it. Brandy's bringing it. Aries is bringing it. The entire team is bringing it. They got a lot of passion. They got compassion, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait to see this thing myself when it comes to a town near me. So with that, I've got a video, a MADtv video that I promised, sort of a tribute video, and then we are out of here. This is for Aries. This is for Orlando, and this is for Brandy.
Hey.
Was that Ike Turner?
Yes, that was Ike Turner. That's Toby Robbins, the motivational speaker to the slaves. Look at Go, Brandy. I remember that sketch. Oh wow, Cosby Chris.
Lil Sasso.
Yep. Good Brandy. Dexter St. Croix bitches.
And I replaced you for that sketch, Aries Spears for Brandy.
You replaced me for Dexter St.
That was awesome. The computer. That's what on your computer.
Love the title. Love both titles. Great.
I apologize, Aries. That wasn't right. Hey. Oh God. Brandy Maybell.
Sasquatch Detective.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yep.
O.J. Simpson.
James Brown.
Baby, you. No, Cliff and Frank.
There it is. There it is.
Yep. Hey.
I can't read the German subtitles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it says already right there.
Hey.
What a legacy you guys have left. Thank you again for keeping us entertained for the entire time until discharge. All we need in the world is love and laughter. That's all anybody needs, guys and gals and pals. And hey, please, guys, thank you so much. I got to take these things off. I don't need them. Did you have fun? Hopefully it exceeded expectations. I'm hoping a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys had a cool time? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's all good, brother.
Nah, this was great, man. Thank you, Aries. Thank you, Brandy, and thank you, Avi. This was lovely, man.
Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon, and I am on Team MADtv. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, guys.
All right, brother. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you as well. Class personified, Orlando, Aries Spears, Brandee Stilwell. They are class personified. We appreciate them joining us, giving us their time, carving out time out of their schedule to sit down and have some laughs and talk about MADtv. That is truly what it's all about. So, guys and gals and pals, thank you for inviting us to your living room for another episode of TKN Saturday Night. We will see you right around the bend.
I'm freaking out.
What
I'm
was that?
I can't.
Oh, why are you freaking out? What's going on?
I'm like crying, laughing. This was the best ever. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh man. And to think man, just I just gotta say, first of all, I'm just so grateful. I grew up in the 90s because we got exposed to that.
Spit it out! Spit it out!
We got exposed to that amazing show, and the comedy was amazing. I was gut-wrenching laughing behind here. Guys, how are you guys doing?
So I grew up. Sorry, Giselle. Do you want to go?
No, you go.
I grew up in the 90s, and well, I was born in the 90s, but I think I was a little too young to watch MADtv, but I still watched it all the time. So I know all of these characters. I was freaking out, especially with Aries. I love his stand-up. He is so funny, and he's so unapologetically himself. All three of them are. I mean, Orlando's amazing. I remember the Dorothy skit. I remember so many of these skits. Like, it brought back so much nostalgia for me. I was like thinking of it in my head. Oh my gosh, I remember this. And it was amazing. Only place to be on Saturday night.
Woo! Damn right. Say it loud.
100%. 100%. So yeah, I had an amazing time.
Hello, Chad. Hello, Classy. Hello, Lee. Thank you all for being here, for witnessing this incredible conversation. And did you hear all of those little tidbits of announcements that were in there?
What? Their
amazing announcements.
Their amazing work. Avi's gonna be part of it. I mean, it's gonna be freaking awesome. I'm excited about that. Woo.
Yeah.
What are you excited about? What part?
I will just again, being able to bring their work that they did that was really edgy, really risque. That was actually one of the things I really loved. They were talking about, like, the differences between, comedy now and back then, what you can get away with, what you can't, and being able to find a medium in which you could find expression for their true, raw instincts and just kind of let it out. Fucking need that. We need it now. Here, it happens. Let's put it back. I don't care how. If we're gonna offend people, we do have to take some consideration, but you know what I mean. It's like just art that's coming from the gut. There was a great quote. I'm just gonna share this and I love it. He says the difference between artists and puppets.
Oh yes.
And I love that he shared about that, and that was freaking amazing. But we need to bring it back. Sorry,
Miranda. What are you excited? Yeah, what announcement excited you the most?
Announcement? Tour? The tour. I mean, that is definitely exciting. Oh my gosh. I would love to see all of them live together in one room, just feeding off of each other, and maybe even doing some skits on stage with some props or some outfits. I mean, that would be hysterical. And someone had commented, Michael McDonald as Stuart. That just brought back so many memories. I loved him as Stuart. Hysterical. Like, he's a genius. That was so funny. Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're gonna play a game. We're gonna play a game now. We're playing a game. Hold on, guys. We're gonna play a game. You're all gonna play with us over there in the comment section. I'm gonna ask you a question to Miranda, Howard, and Giselle. They're gonna answer it to the best of their capability. You're gonna do the same. You're gonna play a game in the comment section. Guys, 11th hour matchup. A lot of you have messaged me. You know the rules with the 11th hour, right? Everybody can advance to the TKN Celebrity Tournament. They're all in. They're all moved on. That's it. I'll announce that. We're gonna split up. Aries Spears, Brandee Stilwell, and of course, Spears, guys. Aries Spears, awesome. Orlando Jones.
Awesome.
How about that?
That is so freaking awesome.
Jones doesn't have to say anything, and he makes me laugh. Just that deadpan, that look of shock in his face when he says nothing.
Yeah.
I die when I see that.
He's
guys,
so funny.
Guys, they're not going to die in this tournament because they're in this tournament right now. We're going to split them up. We're going to take Orlando, put him in a second round match. We're going to take Aries, put him in a second round match. Guys, we're going to take Brandy. They're all going to get split up. Because trust me when I tell you right now, the final lap of round 2 is upon us. The TKN Celebrity Tournament. Things get real soon, guys. The end of this tournament, the end of round number 2 of this tournament is coming down the pike. But let's have some fun. It is comedy night right now. Guys, Miranda, Giselle, and Howard, in tribute to Aries and Brandy and Orlando. If you had to pick one of them to be your therapist for a year, which would it be and why? Orlando Jones, Aries Spears, or Brandy? Howard, the floor is yours first.
I would pick Aries Spears, and he would have to the therapist he would be is the James Gandolfini. He would have to be James Gandolfini as a therapist.
Aries is James Gandolfini. So you know it's funny because he was always talking to Dr. Melfi, played by Lorraine Bracco.
Yes.
Now he's the therapist. So what you're saying is he soaked up all that knowledge from her, and now he's giving it back.
Bam, bam. And
Tony Soprano didn't have a heart, right? Who said that?
Right.
Exactly. And I'll give him full permission. Each session, he has one opportunity to just smack me and be like, snap out of it. Just one.
I like it. That's really awesome. Guys and gals and pals, he shoots Vincent Pastore every time for interrupting his session. All right, that's Aries Spears. Howard Colado. Let's go to Giselle. Who do you pick and why? And audience, we want you. You're the engine that makes this thing go, as you know. Guys, wait for the outro, as you know, because we are going to continue to flow right here on this show. Right now, Giselle, you know all too well it is your time. Who do you pick as a therapist of the 3? Orlando Jones, Brandee Stilwell, or Aries Spears, and why?
I'm gonna go with Brandee Stilwell because I think she'll be able to find a lot of different ways to reach me and use a lot of different tools to figure out what's going on and what we need and how we're gonna get there. and she's gonna do it with. Oh gosh, I don't even know. She's still gonna tell you like it is, but she's gonna be really funny about it.
Gotcha. Good answer, guys. And right now, of course, I will kick it over to Miranda. But before I do that, I want to show you something right here, guys. Let's see if I could pause this. I hope I can pause it. Guys, what does this say? What does this say here in case you want to take a real sneak peek into the backstage world of yours truly? Mad Rewind, sponsored by who? Oh, I wonder how that happened. Is that a Progresso soup?
What?
Is that a Progresso soup? I don't speak until
That is awesome.
Don't speak unless the truth comes out. And guys, Progresso, MADtv, TKN, we're all teaming up for something monumental. We're all teaming up for something monumental. In case you want to see it again, real quick, here we go. MADtv, Progresso soup, November 8th and 9th. It's going to be an event. We'll talk more about it as the weeks go on. We're all going to work together so you guys can watch everything that this amazing crew does on stage. They're going to bring it every single time. I'll be there as well. Trust me, guys. New York Comic Con. Go there. See them. They're going to be there. And then from that point on, starting November, so's TKN. We're going to be part of this amazing MADtv crew. They're all going to be there in attendance. Not one, not two, not three. The whole cast, different seasons. We're going to rock the house and have a lot of fun. That is what TKN is doing. We are partnering with everybody. Everyone. You might be seeing me with a certain Brett Saberhagen and his event coming up. We are branching out. We're going live. West Coast, East Coast, Northwest, Southwest, everywhere you can imagine. Maybe even Brooklyn. Brooklyn, of all places. Speaking of Brooklyn, here we go. Let's kick it off to Miss Brooklyn. Who would you select as a therapist of the following and why? Orlando Jones, Brandee Stilwell, or Aries Spears?
I think that Brandy would be the best therapist because I feel like she would give it to you straight, like Giselle said, but also I feel like she has a warm, compassionate nature to her. Like the way she just speaks is just, it's gentle in a way, but then she curses and stuff in between, which I love. But I think that I need an Aries Spears in my life as my therapist.
Aries Spears. Okay. Well, you know what, guys?
She told me how it is.
You know, of course, with your background, of course, therapy, you know how to pick them. Guys, listen, I'm not going to pick anyone, but I'll tell you this much. I'm almost tempted to pick Orlando because if I fail to do the work that clients should do when involved in therapy, so I hear, if I fail to do the work, I just want Orlando to look at me and deadpan with a dead expression in his face and just look at me and just look at me. That's all I need. In case you want to know more about Orlando the Human and Aries and Brandy, guys, their second round matchup is going to come up. We all know they advanced to round number 2, all three of them. You're going to get to know the people behind the persona. We're going to have a lot of fun. I mentioned Orlando's grandfather. It's a pleasure to go down that rabbit hole, do as much research as I can. We're going to get to know this fine human being. Orlando is an amazing human being. He's a leader, an original cast member. Aries Spears is like the Mike Tyson of comedy. He will knock you out left and right. It doesn't matter what kind of arsenal he will hit you with. You are going to go down. That's how funny he is. And Brandy, guys, as a fellow writer, I understand how hard it is to write material for a sitcom. Think about this, for a sketch variety show. That's what she does. She's doing stand-up as well. What a great crew. This was one of the funnest nights we had. But the fun continues because who else was watching the show? Who else am I going to bring in right now on screen? I'm going to bring them on. They're backstage. Let's bring them on so they can answer the question. Who would they pick as their therapist? Would it be Orlando Jones? Would it be Brandee Stilwell? Or would it be Aries Spears? And they'll tell us why as well. So right now, guys and gals and pals, let's bring in Joe. Let's bring in Dakota. Welcome to TKN Saturday Night, Dakota. Give up.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. I'm going to start with Mr. Dakota. Dakota, you were watching the show. You were commenting. You got 3 options. If you had to pick the following as a therapist, who would you pick and why? Aries Spears.
Oh, my
Orlando
gosh.
Jones or Brandee Stilwell?
I mean, can I have all 3? That'd be great, right? I think out of all 3 of those, just great, amazing stories, fun time all the way through the night. MADtv coming back. I think this is a amazing episode. So much fun. I think for my therapist, I've got to go with Orlando. The one I know the well. He resonated with me tonight, and just watching him talk brings me back to all the things I used to watch, all the way back to Evolution. What a great movie. What a great guy. What a fun time. Yes. It's got to be Orlando.
I love that answer. Before I kick it over to Joe, I want to actually kick it over to the comment section to Rizzo. Rizzo, we go back. Tell me who you would pick and why. Joe Risitano, from Rizzo to Risitano. Who do you pick and why?
I would probably pick Aries Spears because every time I've ever seen a bit of his, or when it comes down to his sketches, he's always on time. And personally, if I were ever to have someone that would be a therapist of mine, I would prefer to be on time, but also be able to solve problems through participation. And that's part of what I think would be very fun with him.
I like that. And guys and gals, remember, outro is coming up real soon. You're going to get a sneak peek into the match we have next Saturday night, the first one in October. We will unveil that match very, very shortly. And, of course, please do not forget this Wednesday night, guys. You already know the match. You'll see it in the outro, but it is something I call the 5-pack challenge. It's the finals of that. We got Miranda, we got Howard, we got Kelly White. It's going to be an amazing night of action. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to miss this one. A lot of surprise guests, a lot of amazing topics. And you might be wondering, the topics, guys, tonight was the night to let our hair down, okay? Last Sunday was my dad's first heavenly birthday. I wanted to have some fun. We had some fun together. It's back. To next week, the topics are back. The stakes are high. The celebrity tournament, as you know it, as constructed, will be back next Saturday night. But tonight was a night of fun. I don't apologize for that. We had a blast. The way they were able to go so deep and so fast when it comes to that game. Let me tell you something. If you ever want to try to moderate something like this, you better have some practice riding a bull. You got to be able to shift and pivot and go left and go right and go up and go down. It was amazing. It was an honor. And afterwards, I'll tell you right now, if I could show you this, I would. I guess I could. I don't really want to screenshot this, guys. I'm not going to do that. But as soon as this show ended, guys, of course, I got a text. And this was, of course, from Mr. Aries Spears. If I want to read this right now, I will. This was from Aries. He said, Avi, this is Aries. I want to lock you in number-wise. Do you have another one? I go, no, this is my only number. He goes, by the way, this was awesome. I don't do these shows at all, but I want to do more of them. Tell me what's next. I said, well, if you advance to round two is next. So Aries Spears was having the time of his life. The time of his life, guys.
That is amazing.
I'm very hyped up because we have so much going on. And again, 21 months, we got 80,200 subscribers, 80,200 subscribers. We've got, again, the numbers mean a lot to us because it means we're reaching more people. That's what we want to do. This is a free preview event. Let people know that, hey, why is this so long? Why is it so long? Because we're still having fun at 9:41 p.m. Eastern time. That's why. This is a free preview event. This is not a podcast. This is not just a regular live stream. It's not a talk show. It's a free preview. When you watch the Mike Tyson boxing pay-per-view, what you didn't see Tyson right away. The bubble would burst too early. It had to build. You have to put that heat inside that balloon and let it blow up before it does. You had to watch the press conference. You have to watch the weigh-in. You have to watch the undercard, the video packages, all that good stuff. You have to watch Mike Tyson, give interviews where he sounded like he was 5, but he kicked butt like he was an adult. That's what he did. But right now, we are giving you that every Saturday night. We're giving you video packages. We're giving you introductions. Then we're giving you the match. That's what we do. We deliver. We're a free per-view event. And we have philosophical fun. And as you saw, in this case, did strangers leave us friends? They were already friends. But you know what? They made a new friend in Avi Klein. They made a new friend in Giselle, Miranda, Dakota, Joe, Howard, all of you. That's what it's about. I'm not on. I don't do drugs. Never have. I feel like I'm on drugs now. I'm so excited about this show. I'm pumped up. I am pumped, guys. Let's read some of your comments right now. Right now, this is from, let's see. Free preview is right. D Man.
Yeah.
Wow, Bill, got that going on. Yes. PPV, baby. I watch new network with my scrambler. Yes. The old scrambler, the gray box. I remember that. We got more comments here. Joy. All right, guys, let's see. We have more comments about who you would pick and why. Thank you, Matt Christie. You can't find this anywhere else. Great times. This is one of a kind. It's unique. Alexander, Aries can tell you what you need to hear from whoever you need to hear it from. Just be careful he's prescribing you anything while doing his certain Jello pitchman's impersonation. We know that. Rizzo reviews. I got to go with Aries Spears. He came through with the spot-on Rocky. Soprano that go a long way in my book. You're right about that, Rizzo, without question. Awesome. And by the way, how did Rocky's son from part 4 to part 5 age by 22 years? How did he go from 4-0 to 6-13? It was amazing to see him grow. And because if you watch Rocky 5, it picked up right where Rocky 4 left off. They go from Moscow back to Philly, and all of a sudden he turns 22 years old. It's insane. All right, guys. Speaking of Rocky, how about this? All right. You're about to train for your big TKN Celebrity Tournament match. You need someone to motivate you like Mickey. Who do you pick to motivate you right before your big match? Is it Aries Spears? Is it Orlando Jones, or is it Brandy? We're going to start first with Joe Rositano. Joe?
It's going to be Orlando Jones, specifically because I want him to use the same fire he uses in Evolution when he's about to be about to have the alien removed. I want him to use that same fire and passion. Like, there's always time. You've got this. That's what I'm doing.
I love it. I love it, Joe. Joe's a man of many voices as well. Absolutely.
Yes.
Joe, if he wants to later on, not on the spot now, if he wants to give me a Mickey from Rocky, his trainer impersonation, he can. If he doesn't want to, he'll save it for later for another episode. Howard, who would you pick and why? Go ahead, Joe. You got something now? Go ahead.
I got one for you.
Yeah, I was going to be
You want me
like,
to play off you or no? Play off you a little bit.
yeah, I was going to, yeah, no, say something, Avi. Say something. Yeah, give me right.
I can think of the Russian guy. He's real bigger than me, Mick. He's a bigger guy than me, Mick.
Listen here, Rocky, you're gonna do it, Rocky. You're gonna make it happen. Look at you. You've got talent in your veins. You got it in your arms. You got it in your legs, Rock. You serious?
Why does it look like you're sucking on a lemon or something?
So many lemons.
Sucking on a lemon.
All right, guys and gals, that's Joe's guest. We're going to kick over right now to Howard Collado. This is what we do. Comedy is a big part of my life, big part of the Green Room's life. I should call TKN Saturday Nights. It's like Green Room. Yeah. Right now, we're TKN Saturday Night. I can't help it. Howard Collado.
All right, I got one for you.
Are going to get motivated by one person that you select, and you'll tell us why. It's going to be Orlando Jones, it's going to be Aries Spears, or Brandee Stilwell. One of them. Why?
So it's going to be Aries Spears, but it's going to be Aries Spears as DMX working in a McDonald's. Bam. That's the guy who's going to motivate me. Yeah. One more time, Howard. There you go.
That's it.
That was good, actually.
I'm going to kick it over to Dakota. Dakota, who's going to motivate you? If you were to have a big TKN celebrity tournament match, you need some, as Mickey would say, and right now, all the Rockies, the first 3 Rockies he was in before he unceremoniously passed away in the films, you need some motivation. Who would give you motivation? Would it be, that's how he pronounced it. He pronounced it as motivation. Guys, Dakota, put you on the spot. Aries Spears, Orlando Jones, or Brandee Stilwell?
I'm going to have to agree with Joe and go with Orlando Jones. You can't get anything better than pure motivation through comedy and pure motivation. And I need that evolution. I think we've established that Kaka and Tuki Tuki don't work. That's my favorite line of that whole movie. He did such a great job. Yeah, that comedy, that seriousness. I'm going to go with Orlando Jones.
Absolutely. Yes, Rizzo reviews, motivation. We always talk about that. Rizzo knows the answer to this. If you're a Rocky fan, which is the only Rocky film that has a win, loss, and a draw? A win, loss, and a draw in one of those films. Which one? Ha, 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 ha. Yes, we're having fun. Orlando Jones. He's a great motivator. As he was in Drumline, Master Teacher, and push you to push past what you think your limits are. Without question. I want to kick it over right now to Miranda. Who would motivate you and why? Of the 3, Brandee Stilwell, Orlando Jones, or Aries Spears?
Yeah, I'd have to say Orlando Jones. I just think he would know exactly what to say to get it going with a funny undertone, but also he's just a great speaker as well. So I think that he would be the monetization would be through the roof.
I like it. Giselle, you know who you have options. The options are Brandee Stilwell, we got Orlando Jones, and we've got Aries Spears. Who do you select and why?
I'm also going Orlando Jones. He was so open tonight and wanted to share all of his experiences. And I think he'll know exactly which ones to pull from in order to motivate me. So, Mr. Jones.
I like it. The last one. Someone is giving a speech at your wedding. Someone is giving a speech at your wedding. And if you're already married, do it again. Why not? Your in-laws are buying next time. Who is giving the speech at your wedding? Is it going to be Orlando Jones, Brandee Stilwell, or Aries Spears? Starting first with Dakota.
I'm going to have to go with Brandy on this one. I mean, that's at that kind of moment, I think she could pull a crowd together and still have that comedy top off right
she's
there.
A writer, and she's a writer also. Yeah.
Yes, right. And she's hilarious. She's so good with her words. She's a great speaker. And like I said, just that comedy top off that she does, I think she would be a great addition to my wedding.
I like that, Dakota. Joe Rositano, of course. Again, maybe, renewing the vows. Who would you select and why to give the speech of all speeches at your wedding? Orlando Jones, Brandee Stilwell, Aries Spears.
I would probably pick Aries Spears, but in this case, I would pick him because I need someone to give something that's a good in-between for almost like a best man speech, but also give a good discussion about the both of us and be able to kind of tie it all together in a very humorous but heartwarming way. And I think he can do that.
I like it. Let's kick it over to Miranda, who's giving the speech at your wedding. Brandee, Aries, or is it going to be Orlando?
I wish I could have all three, but if I had to choose, I think I would pick Brandy because she's a writer. Like I was saying before, she just seems like she has a very genuine personality and very soft-spoken and well-spoken. So I think she would give an amazing speech. But I would love to hear Aries in the background yelling, "Cocaine is the product."
Wow. True Brooklyn wedding through and through. Giselle, please select to give the speech of all speeches at your wedding. Aries Spears, Orlando Jones, Brandee Stilwell.
Brandee Stilwell for sure. She'll know exactly how to phrase everything. She'll know when to be serious so that the funny moments hit harder. She'll know what to put where. She's going to have the whole package. She'll know exactly how to write the speech and then exactly how to deliver it.
I like that. Did I ask Howard yet? I don't think I asked Howard
No.
yet.
Nope.
It's because Howard's never going to get married. Howard, if you did get married, who would you select to give the speech of all speeches at your wedding? Aries Spears. You see, guys, that's the setup. That's the delivery. Aries Spears, Orlando Jones, or Brandee Stilwell.
Okay, so I'm going to pick Orlando because the first 2 minutes of his speech are just going to be nonverbals. And he's going to talk about, the sweet things. Or no, he's going to kind of trash me a little bit. But then he's going to give the mic to Avi Klein. And Avi's going to talk about all the sweet things of Howard Collado. Bam.
Yeah, and you know what? Since people are going to be ready to eat the entree, that'll only take me 5 seconds. So there you go, guys. 5 seconds. The best of Howard Collado will take me maybe six.
There you go. That's a setup, baby. That's a setup.
You set it up. Thank you. Gave me that John Stockton assist. Guys and gals and pals, I want to bring this up again. Wednesday night's going to be a big one. Next Saturday night's going to be a big one. If Joe looks a little bit morose, it's because, man, oh, man, if you've been following what's happening with him and Hauser Ortolak, it's serious business. I mean, you're seeing it in his lives. You're seeing it on Black Boxes. These two are going to go toe-to-toe very, very soon in ways that I can't describe because I've been hearing from Joe. I've been hearing from Hauser. I've been keeping that information locked away in a vault. But there's going to be a lot of interesting tidbits regarding Joe and Hauser. And, guys, Dakota, he's got a show. He's got a segment coming up pretty soon, straight from the South. It's going to be a lot of fun, Dakota. We got the flyer already. Guys, Dakota's going to do the first episode of Straight from the South. He's going to go to places that really spoke to him when he was down. Not so much people, but places we can escape to, places that can lift our spirits. Sometimes it could be a tree, it could be a well, it could be a mountain, it could be a cave, it could be a brook, it could be anything in front of us that was there to maybe prevent us from doing something that many people we love would regret. So he's going to start talking about the places from the South that really helped him during some dark times. And then guys and gals and pals, as you know, we have so many luminaries from the South. One at a time. Eventually, they'll be speaking to Dakota, myself. The first guest he'll ever have is Kelly White, who's straight from the South as well. Mr. Kelly White will be the very first guest that Dakota has. But that will be a fun segment. If you've all been watching the show for years, the Serene Room will be coming back as well, guys, starring Miranda. That's going to be a lot of fun. Trust me when I tell you, it's going to be like nothing you've seen before. We've been talking a lot about therapy, right? Well, the Serene Room will make sure that you need some. And, of course, guys and gals and pals, we have Paper Knife, Giselle, who has been an incredible teacher, a person who is so well, she's gifted. That's the best way to use this explanation and description of the wonderful person we see before us. She is a master at many, many things. Of course, stage combat, the craft of storytelling, poetry. Paper Knife is going to be back very soon. And, of course, guys and gals, Howard's here with us, too. So, guys, listen, we're going to be coming here. I kid. Howard's going to talk recovery. He's going to talk music. All of you guys and gals and pals are probably waiting for the talk shows to come back. I guarantee you between round 2 and 3 they will. And they're also going to be coming to a town near you live in 2 weeks. Not next week, but October the 11th. I will pump up a live event we're going to be a part of. I'm not going to do it next week. I'll do it October the 11th, so I've been told, so I will do. We're going to be hitting different places like Austin, Texas, like New Jersey, perhaps San Diego, who knows? But we're going to be all over the places, TKN. And, of course, working with MADtv is going to be absolutely incredible. Thank you, Eagle John. You are awesome. We appreciate your comments. And, guys, we appreciate you showing up here. We appreciate you commenting. The comments help us out a lot. Please re-comment again if you can once we go off. Once we're not live anymore, you can go back into the comment section and re-comment. Right now, you're commenting that little right-hand area of the comment section, which is awesome. But once we're off screen, once we are no longer live, comment as you do traditionally in the comment section of this broadcast and our other videos as well, because this is free. I don't ask for those, they call it super chats where people ask you to, I don't need a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea guy anyway. I don't need you to donate anything. We don't need anything, not $1, not a cent. We don't need a thing. Guys and gals and pals, we want you to bring people in to comment. We want you to bring people in to share, to like the episode. That's what's very important. We want the engagement as well. Tell them to watch this. Don't explain it to them. If they don't like it, disown them. That's all I can tell you. But they're going to like it. Believe me. They're going to like it. It'll take 2 seconds to like it. You all have this amazing talent. I admire you so much. Thank you so much. You're part of that as well. Yay, Giselle. Absolutely. We give it up to Giselle and the entire cast over here, guys and gals and pals. They are incredible. Miranda is so real. There you go. Without question.
Thank you, Classy.
Joe, Howard Collado. Got a lot of Howard's dressing all spiffy. Let's give you a solo layout for Howard. Look at the threads.
Hey, look at it. He's ready for his wedding.
There you go. There you go.
He's also ready for the divorce.
I have 22 things to say, but we'll get blocked if I say one of them. Matt Christie, thank you. We have here Joe Rositano is joining us live. Guys, are we ready right now to bust out early on a Saturday night? To bust out early and play the outro? Are we ready for the outro?
I'm ready for the outro.
Yeah.
Bring it. Bring it.
So with that being said, an hour and 55, guys and gals and pals.
Wow.
Let's play the outro because not only is Joe interested in seeing who's going to be next, not only is Howard and Dakota and Miranda and Giselle, but I'll tell you something, guys and gals and pals. Before we get to Saturday, we must first arrive at Wednesday, guys. King Kelly is in the house right now. And I do want to do this real quick, guys. Real quick. They don't have to say one word to one another if they don't want to. But if you do want them to say more than just one word to one another this coming Wednesday night, maybe, just maybe, the looks that you see from these two gentlemen, the look and the nonverbal energy will give you more than a monologue ever could. Might just crash the party and ruin it for them, guys. Might just happen. Because she, too, is part of this amazing finals of a 5-pack challenge this Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And gals and pals, according to all of you, here are your top 10 contenders that still await their second-round matchup in this most star-studded and innovative tournament. Enjoy. Enjoy. Enjoy.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about?
Becoming an adult, I grew up in the film industry and had a lot of success, but that was all I knew. And I know a lot of my peers who were child actors didn't do so well, some better, some worse.
Hey, champ. Can we go get Rex now? The bad man's getting awful close.
Because the girls now, years later, are like main eventing. They're doing things that we would have dreamed of doing when I was there. We only got 5-minute matches. They're getting 30-minute matches.
And seeing somebody like me come into ECW, and that's why another thing, I was like, I have to prove myself. I was like, I'll take the Singapore cane shots. I'll take, I took Mike Knox's move onto like a chair, and like I was like, I'll prove it.
I'm going to say Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali has done so many things and so many great things. He was unapologetic. Whatever room he went into, you knew his presence. He wasn't scared or anything to speak his mind.
Well, I didn't learn about dyslexia until I was given dyslexia as a vocabulary word in my freshman English class. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not all the names that the kids were calling me on the playground.
Probably my fondest memory would have been 1984. And it was in LA. The Olympics were in LA. It was in my backyard. It was a dream come true competition for me. It was my coach and I. It was like this choreographed dance. I mean, we were playing and I was dancing around and having fun.
Final lap, guys, final lap.
And if you are continually judging yourself, putting yourself down, not accepting your own magnificence and your light, it's more challenging to be in gratitude and forgiveness.
Google positive effects of horror films. You will be stunned. It does positive things for your brain, for your nervous system. It helps you learn how to deal with trauma.
Yes, it is, Julio.
So you can get through it. But I do think that sometimes the tragedy, the sadness, the bad times certainly make you appreciate the good times.
To me, it's just really, really sad when young people get taken away from us. When they're 18 and 19 and 20, in their 20s and stuff, or they're just about to start their career, they're on the rise, things are looking good. They made it out the street, but maybe, like I said, you just got one foot still in there, you got one toe in there.
Right after Bill Clinton has balanced the budget, 9/11 happens. Now the budget goes up higher than every president in the history of the United States of America. And they came to us and they said that Sherry wasn't with the company anymore. She was fired. And nobody told us anything until we got to the building. To this day, I think that was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever been through. The Cincinnati Gardens, the New York Madison Square Garden, and the Toronto's Garden. All of those gardens were not owned by the same people, but they were governed by the same people. No, I didn't know that I was going to stick it out for 23 years straight with the same company. And it wasn't the fact that it was just wrestling. It was the fact that I was educated, that I was well-traveled, that I was exposed to this world, and I was able to help mentor and help lead other men.
questions.
If I had to consult someone, first of all, I really am not a person who's ever been indecisive. I'm pretty decisive, but I would ask Sir Arthur Conan Doyle for advice.
Oh.
He knows everything. He knew physics, he knew chemistry,
Yes.
he knew how to do anything.
Okay, so how, to get fired one time is just like heart-wrenching. 2 times, but when you say 27 times, how'd you handle it?
You eat chocolate, listen to Judy Garland music, lie on the sofa and go, oh, woe is me, woe is me, until you realize you got to support a family.
Yeah.
Get up and get going.
Up, yes?
Oh, phenomenal. And even beyond that, I mean, when we got to junior high, we lived 3 blocks from the Mississippi River.
Oh.
And you could go down to that river in the center of the city.
Yeah.
And it was like you could be up in northern Minnesota.
When I went to the unemployment office, they asked me what I was qualified to do, and my buddies told me how to answer who got out before me. When they ask you what you're qualified to do as a Navy SEAL or frogman, I'm qualified for diving, demolition, and parachuting. So what kind of civilian job are you gonna get?
Right.
Hand me my unemployment check.
You know what I mean? Our biggest probably technology back then was 2-way pagers.
Yeah.
But you still had to go to a phone booth. You know what I mean? You couldn't pull up information. It was before the laptop. You know, it was before any type of computers where you could pull up and get the information you needed. You had to get that from the school or libraries or the news or anything else. So
it's sort of like another way to call a cat a kid. It's 5 little letters that are missing. Yeah, you get in on occasion if the other party isn't came. It seems I gotta start to explain it. What's it?
You know, I look at it in 3 different ways. I look at it from what my mother had to do and endured to make sure that she fed 4 kids, being a single parent, and the price for her was going to bed hungry.
You know, I joked around at first. I said, listen, if you keep getting bullied, you tell them that Mandy Rose is going to come to your school. Because I told her I have no problem coming to your school. Because I actually went to my nephew's school one time and I just talked to the kids. And I just wanted to make sure, this is my nephew and nobody mess with him, because I know how kids can be. I had this vision when I first went to NXT, and I knew that I wanted to rebrand myself. I knew that I wanted to get more opportunity, and I wasn't really that fond of like what I was doing at the moment. And I just didn't think that I was showing my true potential. So I knew there needed to be something. And sometimes you just need to you need to change a little bit. You need to evolve a little bit.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Next Saturday night. Big.